Welcome back to Athletic Everyday, day number 156. Calisthenics workout, back at the home gym again. Even though it's not that sunny, really nice warm weather, so it's good to do outside topless. Otherwise, I'd be sweating into a shirt. To be honest with you, part of the reason why I like to work out shirtless is because, obviously aesthetics. But the second reason is also because it means I don't have to wash a shirt after the workout. It means I'm just lazy. I don't want to do extra washing. Does that make me a slob? Maybe it does, but at least I'm doing workouts anyway. Calisthenics workout. As for those of you that are new to the channel, folks, I need to stop saying for those of you that are new to the channel, but anyone who comes across the videos, if you watch them regularly, you'll start to get the gist of what I train. But my main focus with the calisthenics workout is muscle ups, handstands, and front levers. And today I was working on different varieties of muscle ups. So I did some wide grip muscle ups later. I did some narrow grip muscle ups. I also tried a very slow muscle up, so no kipping at all. And I also tried a false grip muscle up. So I don't know why in the past I haven't done this, but I decided today that I would massively chalk up my hands and then utilize the tape that I put on the bar. And this made muscle ups so much easier. False grip just makes muscle ups way easier. And the reason is because your hand doesn't have to spin around on the bar. The extra friction of you turning your hand over makes it a lot more difficult in that transition phase when you're transitioning from the pull to the push. And so that false grip, because your wrist is already in the position to push, you can just go straight away. So here are those wide grip muscle ups. I think I managed to get 2. They went pretty well. It seems kind of strange to see my elbows come over them and my forearms be directly vertical. It looks really strange. And then these are the narrow grip. I have done narrow grip before, but the narrow grip was a little bit more difficult today. And mostly because as I got over, my torso was then just sort of sitting on top of my hands. And then I had to try and sort of navigate pushing straight upwards after that. But still got 3, I think it was. There's 2. I'm not 100% certain if I got a third one. Let's see if I get the third one here. Oh man, I was waiting a long time at the top of that bar. Got 3. So yeah, pretty good. 2 wide grip and 3 narrow grip muscle ups is not bad. I think mixing up the technique, but still doing the same sort of exercise, same sort of general movement pattern is really good for improving technique. And then here is that slow muscle up. I tried it with a regular grip and it didn't work. So I was like, okay, I need to try false grip, like proper, really hard false grip. So really sort of wrapped my hands over the bar, trying to get my knuckles pointed more forwards. And then I got it. Here it is. Got stuck here and I was like, how am I going to make it? I'm going to make it. And I managed to pull myself up, chest over, got my elbows over, and then that was it. I was so damn happy when that happened. Man, it felt really good to get that. And it's been a goal of mine for a while. So I just want to carry on working on that. And then you can see how slowly you're able to pull when you do a false grip. You don't really have to pull fast at all if you've got a really strong false grip and you're able to pull really, really high. It also, a false grip also just helps you to pull your chest higher to the bar before you've reached the limit of your pulling range of motion, if that makes sense. So definitely, again, for you guys that are working on getting your muscle up, maybe you're just sort of around that phase of getting your first one, definitely start practicing false grip pull-ups and definitely start just working on doing false grip because it will really, really help, especially with your muscle up technique. Then moving on to handstands, I did these supersetted with front lever raises. Once again, front lever raises with a false grip. I don't know why I've been waiting until now to use false grip a lot more. I feel like I'm going to be sort of hyping up false grip a lot today because it really did help this workout and it meant that my grip strength was a lot stronger. It just meant that my pulling was a lot stronger on the bar. So I was able to get a full set of 4, but I guess the 4th rep wasn't the best of front lever raises, but these were full kind of strict front lever raises for the first 3 reps, and then the last 4th rep was not so much. I sort of folded through the hips, hinged through the hips a little bit, but I'm going to start doing false grip front lever holds as well, both straddle and full, and see if that helps with the amount of time that I'm actually being able to hold the front lever for. Handstands probably weren't going too great today. I was able to sort of split my legs a little bit and try and push off with one foot at a time, so that one leg is always kind of directly straight up, pointing the toes, and then the other leg I'm sort of trying to hold it, but the balance isn't quite there yet. I've definitely got the strength to hold a handstand. It's just I can't hold it freestanding for very long unless I get that perfect balance point and then hold it. What you really want to be focusing on with handstands is to be able to hold them in a variety of different, not necessarily in a variety of different positions, but when you start to lose your balance, you have to be able to correct along the way. It's not just, because balance isn't just this static thing, it is dynamic. Balance is dynamic. For example, when you stand on your feet, if say for example, you sort of sway a little bit to the front or to the side or to the back, you're able to adjust and correct by moving your body and moving your center of mass around. And it's exactly the same with a handstand. being able to adjust and modify how your center of mass sits over your hands, and then sort of adjust how your weight is being placed across the palm of your hand, i.e. more towards the heel of the hand or more towards the fingertips. And then being able to do that, consistently, it's a skill and you can develop it over time. Being able to do that is, I think, the art of being able to do a handstand correctly. Now, obviously, hollow body position and shoulder elevation, sort of shrugging your shoulders up towards your ears, is also a big component of it as well. But it's just actually the balance component, I think, only comes with hours and hours of practice. And, that's why I'm doing them sort of 3 times a week. So with these calisthenics workouts, I'm generally going to do sort of a very similar workout. The meat and potatoes of the workout is going to be just front lever raises or front lever holds, muscle ups in different varieties. And then it's going to be handstand holds or maybe handstand/pike push-ups to work on that overhead strength. And then the strength component of the workout is obviously going to be some kind of vertical or horizontal pushing or pulling. Today I elected for a different variety of horizontal pushing that I've never done before, but I've seen a few YouTube channels do before, most notably Fitness FAQs. And the benefit of doing horizontal pushing like this, as opposed to something like a bench press or a push-up, or let me think of another one. I mean, those are the sort of bog standard horizontal pushing exercises. I guess you could call this a weighted push-up, but benefit of this is because you're able to sit your chest right down between your arms on the rack that I'm using here. It enables you to get a much more full range of motion stretch on those pecs and also the anterior deltoid, the front side of the shoulder. And also, because of that, then you're going to get more stretch in the bottom, and that means you're going to get more tension on the muscle, which means a greater potential of hypertrophy as well. And also, what's nice about doing it like this is your scapula, they don't have to be locked in on the bench. For example, with bench press, in bench press, you have to keep your scapula retracted and depressed, so you have to keep them pushed down and back the whole time. Whereas here, when you get to the top, you can protract them and push them forward, so you can actually get a much more full range of motion push at the end range of motion there, and you can get a nice lockout on the elbows. And then at the bottom, they can then, once again, they can be depressed and they can also be retracted. So there's a lot more scapular freedom. So the scapula can move a lot more when you do something like this. And what's also nice about it is this has a lot more carryover to athletic movements because of how far your elbow is able to get down behind your torso. Although this isn't as specific as a dip, for example, to the arm swing and a vertical jump, I would argue that this movement is a lot more specific in that it has more range of motion at the shoulder and the elbow, and also, the chest gets more stretch on it, kind of similar to how you'd be swinging your arm in a sprint or a jump. Again, it's not as specific as a dip, but it's definitely more specific than bench press to other athletic movements. So I only worked up to, I think it was two or three sets of 5 with 30 kilos there, plus 30 kilos and obviously my body weight as well. And then I did 30 kilos for this first set on these underhand grip chin-ups. I guess they are just chin-ups, or supinated grip as you might call them. And then I worked up to a top set of 35 kilos, always working for 5, but on the last set I only got 4 reps. And then on this last rep, to really milk that eccentric range of motion, I really tried to go slow and controlled on the way down, to really focus on keeping the tension in my biceps and just getting as much time and attention all the way down. So that was the last strength exercise of the day, and I feel like these chin-ups went pretty well actually. I think in the past I've gone up to 40 for 5, or maybe it was 45 for 5, I can't remember exactly. I would have to go back and scroll through my videos. But yeah, 35 for 5 is pretty decent for me, and obviously I'll be building the weights over the weeks to come. And then I finished up with some loo raises. I think I did a set of 10 loo raises with 10 kilo in each hand, as you can see here. And then once I couldn't do any more loo raises, I then just did normal lateral raises, sort of half of the range of motion. Kind of like I guess you could say a drop set, or like just going to failure. And then the pump in my delts after this, my lateral delts, was absolutely insane. And then I had like a very short rest, and then I went up down to 5. So again, kind of like a drop set. Did the full range of motion loo raises. So as many reps as I could like that. I think I ended up getting like 10 or 11, probably more likely 10. Then went straight into lateral raises with the 5 kilos as well. And I didn't actually leave it on here, but I also finished up with a set of 2.5 kilos. Anyway, guys, that is pretty much it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next.